Hey guys, I built something cool that I want to share with you. So I shared a week ago a podcast host GPT. So if you want to start a podcast, it's the ideal tool because it helps you practice as a host, asking better questions, listening what the GPT has to say, because the GPT is role playing your podcast guest, and many found it insightful. I shared it with my newsletter subscribers, and this week I built a podcast guest GPT. So if you are a CEO, if you are a founder that's often on podcasts, you may want to use this tool to practice to be a better guest. I thought I was a good guest, but listening to some of my podcasts, it's obvious that I talk way too much, that I go way too deep in rabbit holes. A lot of people don't understand it, the guests, the podcast hosts including. So I built this tool to be a better guest. So let me share my screen to show you what I built here. You may hear background noise, by the way, because I shut it off, and for you to hear the actual GPT and do the interview here. I built the GPT 2 here, which is going to be available in 1 week to my newsletter subscribers, but I deployed this one to my actual newsletter subscribers. Let me know if you need the link here. But this tool, it will actually ask you questions like a podcast host. The cool thing with that also is that welcome to the AI age. You don't even need to be invited to podcasts to actually make content. So I'm filming this video, right? And it's gonna ask me questions, and I'm gonna answer them, and I'm gonna build a YouTube shorts out of that, so that I can get more views and subscribers and sales. So without further ado, again, let me know if you need the link, but I'm gonna call it, and let's see what happens here.
Awesome. Before we start, I just need a bit of context to tailor the interview to you. Please answer these 4 questions in one go. 1. What's your first name? 2. What's your company name? 3. What's your product or offer? 4. Who's your ideal customer or ICP?
My name is Charles Cormier. I'm the CEO of PodBuyer.com. We help CEOs and founders start their podcasts, turning 100 podcast interviews into 10 sales a month.
Perfect. Thanks, Charles. Awesome. Let's get started. I'll act as your podcast host and ask 10 to 12 questions, one at a time. Ready? Here's the first one. So, Charles, take us back a bit. What's your backstory and what led you to start PodBuyer?
So I've been an entrepreneur since I was 17, first into dropshipping, then a nootropic company that was quite ambitious. It failed horribly. We owed a lot of money for a couple of years, but I earned a triple PhD in entrepreneurship. After that, I launched a bunch of agencies. I love agencies because it's a laboratory for all your business ideas, and you can grow an impressive business ecosystem out of that, which is what takes me to today. Today I have a podcast agency. I have many GPTs, many SaaS. I monetize my newsletter, get paid by affiliates and YouTube. So a pretty nice little portfolio of income. And I love working with CEOs and founders. My goal is to work with the smartest brains on this planet Earth, and to add as much value as possible to founders and CEOs specifically.
Love that. What a journey. That triple PhD in entrepreneurship line is gold. You've clearly lived the highs and lows, and now you're building something really dynamic. All right, let's zoom in on PodBuyer. For someone totally new to it, how would you explain what PodBuyer does in plain English?
We help CEOs and founders start their podcast machine. It's the best lead gen system that exists in our modern times. It'll consistently bring at least 100 podcast interviews per month, and you can close 10% of that into high-ticket clients. So guys, I'm just gonna end this one here. You can see it's pretty good. The second model here, which is gonna be available in a couple of weeks, it's more advanced, it's smarter.
Perfect. Let's tailor this interview. Just tell me, all in one go. 1, your company name. 2, your product or offer. 3, who your ideal customer is. 4, one unpopular opinion or contrarian take you have about your industry. Then we'll dive right in.
My name is Charles Cormier, CEO of PodBuyer. I turn 100 podcast leads into 10 high-ticket paying clients a month. I do that for CEOs and for founders. One contrarian belief is that I think that podcasting is the best lead gen machine there is in our modern times for B2B companies.
Got it? Let's dive in. I'll ask one question at a time, and I may push back or challenge you depending on your answer. Ready? All right, first one. For those who don't know, what exactly does PodPire do, and who do you really serve?
Okay, PodPire is my podcasting agency. We serve CEOs and founders. We help them launch their podcast. We take care of everything from A to Z. We can even have people do the interviews for the CEO, although founders are really good hosts and can gain a whole bunch for running their own podcast. And we have launched that because we have been in cold email in the past couple of years and have seen cold email replies drastically go down. If you're direct selling, people will spam you. So we still send cold emails to get people on podcast. It is a win-win pitch. It is a good offer. It is value first offers, so people do accept the cold emails and the invite. It's the start of a relationship. They get into the trust funnel, and with enough follow-ups, we actually convert all these guests into clients.
All right, that's a solid overview, but let's push on a few things. You said podcasting is now the new top of funnel because cold emails effectiveness has dropped. Fair, but isn't podcasting a long game? Booking, recording, editing, nurturing, it's not exactly quick. So how do you turn what seems like a slow brand play into something that drives measurable, high-ticket revenue fast? What's the actual mechanism that makes it work that well? And what are people missing when they try and fail?
Short answer, we automate it. Podcasts are live. It's no edit. And also the more views we get come from some YouTube shorts that are automatically built by Opus. There's even a Zapier process through that can fully automate it. The nurturing is also automated. We can follow up with basic tools like Calendly or simple Gmail coming from a Zap. For example, when the podcast is done, send that email. And yes, it's a lot of work for me, the agency, but it's said and done. Now, obviously, there's always some tweaking and improvement to be done through time.
Okay, so you're turning what's traditionally a manual, slow process into an assembly line with automation. Smart. But here's the thing. If it's that easy to automate, why aren't more agencies pulling this off? Plenty of people are launching podcasts, using Zapier, clipping with Opus, and still struggling to close deals from it. So what are you doing differently that actually converts podcast guests into high-ticket clients?
Right.
Where's the real conversion playbook most people miss?
So it still talks a lot. As you can see, I'll shorten it from the next prompt. But to answer your question, so I didn't say it was easy. Automating is pretty hard. Even systems, they break. But what's cool with systems is that they constantly yield. They constantly yield new leads, new clients. Increasing the closing rate is the name of the game I'm into, also known as product market fit. So when we're out of the lead gen jungle, right, like 99.9% of my clients get out of that jungle pretty quick, 100 leads a month, fine, that's pretty fun, right? The real game, the real and most dense and intense jungle is the closing jungles, the product market fit jungle. You constantly need to try out new offers, try out new copywriting, copyrighted emails. You constantly need to brainstorm with humans with a GPT and to have statistics. Deep research certainly helps nowadays to come to product market fit. And by the way, when you have product market fit, it's like the snitch in Harry Potter. It constantly moves away. It's a moving target, basically. So even catching it once doesn't mean that it will scale, right? It may scale. If you're lucky, it'll scale for a year, It'll scale for 2 years, but not forever. So what I do, once we're done with the lead gen machine, I help my clients close. I help them test out some offers on various platforms, right? Not just email, also LinkedIn posting, newsletter, etc. And that's the very hard part. We get some customer feedback, we record these calls, and then we iterate off that. And that is an infinite game. And that is why people hire me. It's because I'm product market fit obsessed. And I know very few consultants that do that nowadays and that are full stack like I am. Alright guys, so let's keep it to this. I just wanted to show you this little tool here. It's pretty cool. You can test it out. And as you notice, podcasts are the holy grail, right? And this tool, because you can produce content, but you can also get better at thinking and justifying your product and your value, right? I've created similar tools a couple of weeks ago. For example, PodGuestGPT that acts like your prospect in a buying situation, right? This one's pretty much all in one. It will practice you for challenging podcast interview. The V2 will be available in a week from now. The V1 should give you some lowball questions so that you can at least have a first experience, right? And really be a good guest. And yeah, the V2, stay tuned. Just subscribe to my newsletter. I'll send it by then. Hope that you enjoyed this video. Hope you can use the tool and even create content out of it. We'll stay in touch.